classes only to your teacher, and the teacher will clear all the doubt, right? Next, secondly, what we have is we give the personalized attention to each and every student of our batches, because our batches consist of maximum number of 6 students. Okay, so this also help us to keep an eye on the student, as well as the student can ask and interact with us very freely. Fine. Now coming to the third thing which we have is we have a very good academic mentor team which who continuously track on the progress of the student. So how the students are doing their class, how they're understanding all the different topics, how they're doing in the homework, all of them are tracked by our academic mentor team, and accordingly you will get the feedback so that you can improve yourself. Fine. And fourthly, which is also very important, that is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule, and also we handle some of the custom requests like that. When if you have any particular topic which is going on in your school, you can tell us that this topic is going in the school, so you want to do that topic first, so we will definitely do those topic first, and then we will move on to the rest of the topic. So this type of custom request generally we handle. So these are the main general features of Swiflearn. Now let us find out what are the key features of Swiflearn. So first of all, we maintain a detailed progress report of each and every student, and in the during the PTMs, when we meet the parents, we share this progress report so that you will be able to improve yourself according to the feedback. So what are actually included over here in this progress report? How you are doing the homework, how you are attending the classes, whether you are understanding all the topics or not, in which topic you are lagging, in which topic you are already prepared. So these are the different things which are actually present in this progress report. Now, coming to the second thing which we have is the Swiflearn Academic Test Series. Okay, in short, which we call as the SATs. So every Sunday it happens, and you will be able to like perform over here, and you will be able to see what is your rank in all over India. Fine. Thirdly, you can take the unlimited practice test after completing each and every topic of all the subjects. So in this practice test, you will get different types of questions like objectives as well as the subjective types of questions. So in case of the objective question, mainly you will get true and false MCQs, match the column, filling the blanks, and so on. And also you have the subjective test for your school examination as well as the board examination. This is very important. So before going to the school, definitely you have to prepare yourself according to what are the key points you have to include in your answer, what are the key points you have to write specifically according to the marks, as well as where you have to put the diagram, where you have to put the equations. These are all given, and as well as we have a very good team of teachers who will check your answers and give you the feedback. Accordingly you can improve yourself, right? So these are the different key features which we have in Swiflearn. So to experience all these features, what you have to do, you have to book a free trial class. So as you already know that the admission is going on for the new session, so please book a free trial class and definitely experience all these features of Swiflearn. Hi Shivansh, how are you? Good afternoon. Okay, so as far as I know that you have already subscribed our channel in YouTube. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. Fine. So please stay with Swiflearn and study with Swiflearn. So please hit the like button, comment and share with your friends and family members. Right? Okay. Yes, beta, I know you are Shivansh. Okay, chalo. So let us now move on to the topic. So as you already know that today our topic of discussion is the cell, right? Cell, the unit of life. This is the third session of this topic. So we have already studied a lot about the cell in the previous session. What is the cell? Where it is present? What is the shape and size of the cell? What are the different functions which are performed by the cell? Why the cell is known as the structural and functional unit of the living organism? The cell theory, as well as we have also studied about some of the cellular organelles in the previous section, right? Now today, in today's session, mainly we will focus on the rest of the different cellular organelles, and then we will study about what is the main differences between the plant cell and the animal cells. Okay, you are back to home. Very good, Shivansh, very good. Okay, see you soon in Swiflearn classes then again. Yeah. Definitely you can join the Swiflearn in a week. Okay. Chalo. So let us find out what we will study today. Right? Today mainly we will focus on the different cellular organelles which are the plastid, mitochondria, vacuole, ribosome, peroxisome and centrioles. And then after completing learning about all these cellular organelles, we will now then study about the differences between the plant cell and the animal cell. ठीक है? So let's start now, right? Okay. Now, before going to directly into the different cellular organelles, we have already studied about the cellular organelles and what are cellular organelles, where they are present in the previous session also, right? So, do you remember what are the cellular organelles which we have already covered in the previous session? Yes? Okay, so these are the lysosome, Golgi apparatus, and endoplasmic reticulum. So these were the three cellular organelles which we have already studied in the previous session, right? So today mainly we will focus on the rest of the cellular components. So what are the cellular organelles? These are the organelles which are present within the cytoplasms of the cell. Right? Remember that cytoplasm is the fluid which is present within the cell just inside the plasma membrane and outside the nucleus. The fluid is known as the cytoplasm, and within the cytoplasm definitely the various types of cell organelles are suspended, right? So what are the cell organelles over there? It can be the ribosome, lysosome, nucleus, Golgi apparatus, plastid, we can say the mitochondria, ribosome, Golgi bodies, right? So these are the centrosomes. So these are the different types of cellular organelles which are present within the cytoplasm. So today mainly we will study about rest of the cellular organelles, their structure and the function. So over here a beautiful picture is showing. See, these are the cytoplasm. You can see here the endoplasmic reticulum, which we have already studied in the previous session. Ribosome, today we will study about ribosome. Then we have studied about the nucleus, the nucleolus, which is present, which is known as the brain of the nucleus, remember? Yes, and the membrane which is bounding the nucleus, that is the nuclear membrane. Then we have studied about the Golgi apparatus, the cytoplasm, mitochondria and the chloroplast, right? These we will study today. Mitochondria and chloroplast we will study today, right? So I guess you are all ready. Yes, Shivansh, very good. Chalo. So before going to the different cellular organelles, let us remind you what are the different cellular organelles which are suspended in the cytoplasm again. So first of all, it is the plastid, then endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosome, mitochondria, peroxisome, ribosome, centrioles, or we can also say centrosomes and vacuoles. So these are the 9 main specific or vital cellular organelles which are performing a lot of different types of activities within the cell. Okay, which actually gives a proper structure to the cell as well as which perform the various functions within the cell which help us to survive properly, right? Now before going to the specifically into the different cellular organelle, let us first find out with the help of a story, right? So have you ever heard this story? Like once upon a time there was a very little small bacteria whose name was mitochondrion. Okay, so he was very small and always running away from the bigger cells. So whenever that mitochondrion see a bigger cell is coming towards itself, it just run away. Okay, so one day what happened, he was eaten by a big cell. So you might be wondering that mitochondria would be died, right? But do you think that the mitochondria died? No, it actually not happened at that time. What happened? Something else happened with the mitochondria. So this mitochondria, with the help of the cell, they fix some mutual benefit. Okay, and they maintain some mutual relationship, and it was present from that time within the eukaryotic cell. So you have already studied about the eukaryotic and the prokaryotic cell, remember? Yes. So based on the true nucleus, whether it is present in the cell or absent in the cell, so whenever the true nucleus is present within the cell, definitely it is known as the eukaryotic cell, and when it is absent in the cell, we call those cell as the prokaryotic cell. Clear, eh? Yes? Okay. Now, what happened to the mitochondria? So, in the history, it is believed that the mitochondria was first a free living bacteria. You can see over here the picture of the mitochondria. It seems to be the similar to type of structure of that of the bacteria. है ना? So, eventually, what happened when the cell engulfed that bacteria, or we can say the mitochondrion, then what happened? The more complex cells like the eukaryotic cells were formed, and they start a mutualistic relationship between them. So what happened in this mutual relationship? The mitochondria provide the energy to the cell, and the cell started providing the food and protection to the mitochondria. So this type of mutual benefit they are getting from one another, and both of them were capable of doing or performing the whole function and the survival. Okay, survival of all the living organism uh, was done by this. So, got the story of mitochondria? Yes? Okay. So, let us now focus on the structure of mitochondria. So, as you already see over here, that mitochondria is a bean shaped structure, right? It is a very small organelle having double membrane structure. This is very important. They have this two membrane. This is the outer membrane. This one is the outer membrane. You can see over here, which is colored as purple in this picture, and this one is the inner membrane. We can see the inner membrane as pink colored, right? Now we have seen that within the inner membranes are folded into the different folds. They are coming into different folds. You know what are these folds known as? These folds are known as cristae. Okay, crista is the singular word and cristae is the plural word, right? So as you can see that many folds are present within the mitochondria, definitely they are forming the cristae, right? Now let me tell you another very important thing or information about the mitochondria. So we know that the DNA, RNA, ribosome, these are present within the nucleus, right? And from the nucleus, when it is needed for the synthesis of the protein, it comes to the cytoplasm, and definitely it attached with the ribosome, and ribosome helps in the process of protein synthesis. This much we already know. Now, do you know there are also two other cellular organelles who contain their own DNA and ribosome? Do you know who are they? They are, one of them is the mitochondria, and another one of them is the chloroplast, which is only present in the plant cell. Okay, so can you see over here in the mitochondria, ribosome is present. So the mitochondria has its own ribosome, as well as you can see the string like structure or the thread like structure, which are the DNA. So the mitochondria is also having their own DNA. So as the mitochondria and the chloroplast are having their own DNA and ribosome, they are autonomous. They can perform their own function very properly, right? But this mitochondria is not present in some types of cells. In which types of cells? Hi Ashika. Yes, so the mitochondria is not present mainly in the bacterial cell and also in the RBC. Where is the RBC present? In our blood, right? So the red blood cells are not having their mitochondria, as well as the bacteria do not have their own mitochondria. Clear up to this much? Now bacteria comes under what type of cell? Do you remember? Okay, so let me find out whether the bacteria comes under the prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. Let me see who can give me the correct answer in the chat box. Okay, so as you already know that I will write down the name of the students who will give me most of the correct answer at the end of the session, and he or she will be the student of the session, right? Okay, so this is all about the structure of the mitochondria. Now let us find out what is the main function of mitochondria. So mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Always remember this sentence, okay? Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. तो ऐसा क्या हो गया कि माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया को हम पावर हाउस कहेंगे? Yes, it must have been doing something within our cell, right? So what does it do? It helps in the process of respiration, and we already know that what happened in the cellular respiration. From the different types of food whatever we are eating, those food molecules are broken down with the presence of the oxygen, and they provide the energy. So over here we can see that the energy is produced within the mitochondria. Fine. Now whatever energy will be produced, very good Yashika, the bacteria is prokaryotic cell, very good. Yes. So whenever the energy is produced within the mitochondria, they have to be stored within them. Okay. Now, what type of energy it will produce? So, energy which is produced within the mitochondria is produced in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Okay, what is the full form of ATP? If you get any question like this, you will write adenosine triphosphate. Okay, now this adenosine triphosphate is known as the energy currency of the cell. Why? Because whatever energy is produced within the mitochondria, those are all stored within this ATP. This is the chemical form where all the energy which is produced within the cell is stored. And therefore, the whole thing, the whole cellular organelle, that is the mitochondria, is known as the powerhouse of the cell, because the energy is produced within the mitochondria and it is also stored within the mitochondria. Clear and up to this much? Yes, so I guess you have got about the structure as well as the function of the mitochondria. Yes, any doubt? Okay, let's now move on to some other different types of cellular organelles. Now, did you ever wonder that how the plants breathe, how they drink some water, how they eat some food, like we also eat some food, right? And also how do they grow? So, like us, like we breathe, we drink, we eat, we grow, growth and development takes place. So, in the similar way, the plants, within the plants, all these processes takes place. So, how do they takes place? Any idea? Yes. Yes, Yashika, your answer is correct. I have already mentioned that you are totally correct that bacteria is the prokaryotic cell, right? Okay. So, do you know which cell organelle carry out all these functions within the plant body? Yes, the breathing, the drinking of the water or any liquid, the eating, growth and development. Who helps to carry out all this function? They have some specialized types of cellular organelles which we do not have. That is known as the plastid. Okay, so this plastid is very important within the plant cell, which help them in growth and development and to perform all the different vital activities for their survival, right? Now if we have the plastid, then what would be the color of our body? Please write it down in the chat box. This answer is expected from you. Okay. Now let us find out what is plastid. So as you have already studied about the mitochondria and the structure of the mitochondria, so similarly the plastids are also double membrane bound organelles, right? And I have already said that mitochondria and chloroplast is one type of plastid only. So these are the only two cellular organelles which have their own DNA and ribosome, right? Now the plastid exists only in the plant cell, not in the animal cell. Why? I will definitely say, and before that I would expect this answer from you also in the chat box. Okay, so depending upon the type of the function, they are classified into three main types. Do you know what are the three main types of plastid? Any idea? One is the chloroplast, second one is the chromoplast, and the third one is the leucoplast. Okay, so what are present within this chromoplast, chloroplast, and leucoplast? Do you know what are the colors they provide to this plant body? Chloroplasts generally provide the green color to the plant body. That is why plants are green in color, right? All the leaves are green in color. है ना? अगर क्लोरोप्लास्ट हमारे बॉडी के अंदर होते तो we would have been green in color. Our skin would be green in color. है ना? Okay. We do not have the plastid. That is why we are not having green color pigments in us, right? Okay, now coming to the chromoplast. Chromoplast have all the other varieties of color other than green. Okay, like we see that beautiful types of flowers, the and the fruits, right? The orange, red, yellow, purple, right? Blue color, sometimes pink, definitely. So these colors are given to the plant body or the fruits and flowers by the chromoplast. And what about the leucoplast? They help to store the various types of food. Okay, and these are mainly the colorless plastid. Fine. So we will study about the different types of plastid. So before going to the different types of plastid, let us find out the structure of plastid in detail. So can you see this one? Okay, so this is the whole body of a plastid. Isn't it beautiful? Yes. Now let us first find out what is the outer structure of the plastid. So from outside, plastid seems to be like this. Okay, just like a ball, or we can say a bean-shaped structure. Fine. But they have, this is the outer membrane of the plastid. Now I will show you the inner side of the plastid. So this is the inner side of the plastid. Now if you see inside the plastic, what will you see? The outer portion, this is the outer membrane, and there is another inner membrane. So from here you are getting one point that plastid is a double membrane bound cellular structure. Now within this plastid, can you see the different types of coin like structures which are stacking one upon another? These are known as the thylakoids. Each of the coin-like structure, the circular structures are known as the thylakoid. And when they are forming on one another, they are forming the granum. Okay, so granum again is the singular word, and when we will talk about all of them, we will see that as the grana. Okay, N-A, G-R-A-N-A. Fine. So the main two things which are present within the chloroplast are granum and stroma. Okay, so I have already mentioned what are the grana. These are the disc shaped structure when they are forming or stacking one upon another. These are known as the grana. Okay, if you see the side view, these are the grana. Fine. Now let us find out what is the stroma. Stroma is the matrix which is present within this chloroplast, right? So can you see the fluid like structure which is present within the chloroplast, the light green color? These are known as the stroma. Fine. Now there are the stroma lamellae which are present. You can see over here there are the different connections between this grana, right? And these connections are known as the stroma lamellae. Fine. Now other than this, definitely they will have their own drop of lipids, ribosome, DNA and so on within this chloroplast. Can you see? If you see from upside, you will see this view of chloroplast, and if you see the sidewise, definitely you will see like this. Clear hai? Now the lumen is something which is shown over here as the yellow colored which is present within this granum. Fine. So this is all about the structure of the chloroplast. Isn't it very beautiful? Right? This is the side view, this is the outside view, and this one is the inner side view of the chloroplast. So all these things are present within the chloroplast, which help the plant cells to perform the photosynthesis properly. Yes, because the chloroplast contain the chlorophyll, which is the green pigment which actually absorb the heat energy or the light energy of the sun and help in the process of synthesis of the food. Clear hai up to this much? Yes, if you have any question, please ask me. Right? Okay, so we have already studied about the structure of the chloroplast. Now let us find out what are the different types of plastids, right? So as I have already said that depending upon what are the different functions performed by the plastid, it can be divided into three main types. What are they? Chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. So what are the chloroplast? These are the plastids which contain the chlorophyll. So what is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is the green colored pigment which are present within the chloroplast. And this pigment gives the green coloration to all the leaves of the plant. Fine. So this is the green colored pigment. So as the chloroplast is present within the plants are green in color, and definitely what is the main function performed by this chloroplast? They trap the solar energy which help in the formation of the food, or we can say that they help in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so up to this much clear. Now let us find out what is the function of the chromoplast. So chromoplast are the different colorful plastids which are giving the various types of colors to the different parts of the plant, but not green. Okay, so except green color, we can see that beautiful colors of the different flowers, right? The violet, purple, the pink color, the orange color, yellow, brown, and definitely blue, yes, red. So all these colors of the flower as well as the fruits are given by whom? These are given by the different pigments which are present within the chromoplast, right? Now they impart the various colors. Why? To attract the insects, so that the insects will come and sit on it. They will feed on the nectar of the flower, and they will again go to another flower for the attraction, for feeding the nectar. Now in the meantime, what are they doing? All the different pollen grains are sticking to their wings or legs, and whenever they are going to the other flower, definitely they are carrying with them, and the pollen grains will be transferred to the stigma of the other flower, and the whole process of pollination is done. Okay, so as you already know that what is pollination? Pollination is the process of transferring the pollen grains which contain the male gametes within it from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or the different flower, right? So to attract the insects for pollination, this chromoplast help a lot. Clear hai? Now let us move on to the leucoplast. So what are the leucoplast? These are the colorless plastid. So this is the only plastid which do not have any sort of color. So chloroplast contain green color, chromoplast contain any different types of color other than green, and leucoplast are colorless plastids. Fine, they do not contain any sort of color. So what is the main function of this leucoplast? Their function is to store the food in the form of starch, protein, and fat. So mainly they store the food in the lipid, okay, in the form of lipid as well as the starch. What is starch? It is one form of carbohydrate, as you already know, right? So these are the main functions of the different types of plastids which are only present within the plant cell and not present in the animal cell. We do not have the plastid in our cell. Okay, so up to this much clear, I guess. Any doubt, any confusion, please write it in the chat box then. Okay, now let us find out what are vacuoles. So have you ever heard or seen the vacuoles in different pictures? Yes, so the vacuoles are the places where the cell can store various types of things, whatever chemicals are present within the cell, or the different types of food, the liquids, the solid materials and the liquid materials are actually stored within the vacuoles. And the vacuoles are also having their own type of membrane. This is a single membrane which is called the tonoplast, right? Now they are present in both the plants and animal cell. So over here you can see the animal cell as well as the plant cell. So can you see with the vacuole? Can you get one difference between the vacuole in the plant cell and the animal cell? Yes, so this whitish portion is known as the vacuole. So isn't it a bit larger in case of the plant cell and very small in case of the animal cell? Yes, if you compare the two size of the vacuoles, you will find out the vacuoles are very large in case of the plant cell, but it is very small in case of the animal cells, right? Understood? Okay, so these are the vacuoles which are present in both the plants and animal cells. Now, in the plant cells, they are large and permanent vacuole, but in case of the animal cell, they are very small and very temporarily present. Now, in a mature plant cell, the vacuole may occupy 90% of the space of the whole cell volume. Can you imagine? Like, if let me draw one cell for you. If this is the whole cell, and this one is the nucleus, so sometimes what happen, the vacuole contain the whole 90% of this volume of the plant cell, and the nucleus and the mitochondria and whatever other cellular organelles are present, they are shifted to a side. Okay, they are shifted towards the plasma membrane at one side, and the rest of the spaces is taken by the vacuoles. Fine. Now, what is the main function which is done by the vacuole? Mainly in case of the plant cell, why do they take that much amount of space? To maintain a proper osmotic pressure within the cell. So this is very important for the plant cells to maintain a proper osmotic balance, okay, as well as it gives the turgidity as well as rigidity to the plant cell. They must be very much turgid and rigid, because we already know that the animals can move here and there, they can locomote, they can go from one place to another, they have the flexibility. We are like moving our hand, leg, and the whole body is flexible. But in case of plant, have you ever seen that the plant is telling you hi, and one of the branches just shaking hand with you like this? No, never na. So this type of movement, or definitely we have not seen ever like the plant is walking, right? So this type of flexibility in their body is not at all there. So their body is very much rigid and structured, and they have to stand in a particular place, right? So this type of rigidity and turgidity is mainly given by the cell wall which are present within the plant cell, as well as the vacuoles which are present within the cells. Clear hai? So turgidity and rigidity in the plant cell is maintained with the help of the large vacuoles within the plant cell, as well as they help in maintaining the osmotic pressure within the plant cell. Up to this much clear, Hannah? Yes? Okay. Now let us move on to the centrioles. So where are the centrioles present? Centrioles are present within the centrosome. So again, please remember this, that the centrosomes are only present within the animal cell. Now plant cell mein to always they are having the cell wall extra, they are having the large vacuoles extra, they are having the plastids extra which are giving the beautiful colors to the plants. But there should be also something extra which should be present within the animal cell, hai na? So the centriole is present only in the animal cells. Okay, so centrioles are present within the centrosomes. Now, they generally are present towards the nucleus, but during the cell division, they go to the two different poles of the cell. Fine. Now let me show you what is the structure of the centriole. Can you see over here? They are made up of the microtubules which are arranged in a specific way. Can you see what is the specific way? These are the microtubules which are arranged in triplets. So three microtubules are arranged in a proper way, and you can see that total 9 rows of microtubules are present. So if this is the side view, and if you see the cross section view of the centriole, you will find that these three triplets of the microtubules are present, and they are arranged in certain pattern that they are giving a beautiful shape to the centriole, right? So these centrioles are present within the centrosome, and the main purpose of this centriole is in cell division. So they help in performing the cell division. So let me just give you one structure of the cell during cell division. What happened? So in this structure, let it be the cell, and the centrioles go to the two poles of the cell, right, during cell division, and they form the spindle spindle rays from it. Okay, this from there astral rays the spindle fibers are formed, and this spindle on this spindle fibers you know that the different chromosomes comes and bind with it, right? So this spindle formation is takes place during the cell division with the help of this centriole. Clear, Hannah? Hi Babula, how are you? Huh, definitely you can see. Even if you were in 8th grade, please see. Okay. Chalo. You are always allowed to see this because you have also studied cell in the 8th grade, na? So, more amount of information definitely you will get over here, which will help you. Okay. Chalo. So, this is the centriole and it helps in the process of cell division. This is the main thing which is performed by the centrioles. Fine. So up to this much clear hai? Now let us find out what are the different things which happen during the cell division. Now they are found mainly in the form of the centrosome. And within the centrosome, the centrioles are present. So they generally appear near the nucleus. But what happened during the cell division? When the cell starts dividing, they move towards the two opposite poles of the cell. So let me show you again with the diagram. Let it be the normal cell. This is the nucleus and the centrosome present nearby the nucleus like this. Now what happened during the cell division? This is the story of the cell division where the nuclear membrane and everything disappears, and what happened, the centrosome said two centrioles comes out and they move towards the two poles, the north pole and the south pole, the two opposite poles, and they form the spindle fibers. With the help of their astral rays they extend their astral rays and form the spindle fibers, where the other different chromosomes come and bind with it, and definitely it will help in the cell division, right? It will help in the cell division like this. So this is what happened with the help of this centrosomes. Clear, Anna, up to this much? Yes. Okay. Chalo. So now let us move on to another cell organelle, that is the ribosome. So we have already studied about the ribosome. Ribosomes are present mainly within the DNA. It is also present within the, sorry, not in the DNA, within the nucleus. Also it is present within the cytoplasm. And the two more cellular organelles which contain their own ribosomes, they are the chloroplast and mitochondria, right? Yes. So these are the extremely small dense spherical structure. You can see the very small spherical structure which are attached sometimes with the endoplasmic reticulum. Remember, we have studied about the endoplasmic reticulum in the previous session. So over there we have studied about the smooth ER and the rough ER. So what happened in case of the rough ER? The ribosomes are present on the surface and they make the endoplasmic reticulum rough. Yes, the surface becomes rough on the endoplasmic reticulum like this. है ना? Yes, so if this is the ER, the ribosomes present on the ER makes the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum rough, right? So they help in mainly the protein synthesis. So this is the main and only one vital function of the ribosome, that is the protein synthesis. These are mainly made up of the RNA and protein. As you already know that what is the RNA, that is the ribonucleic acid which are present, and these are also formed of the protein, right? Up to this much clear, hai na? Ribosome is very simple, right? Now let us find out another cellular organelle, that is the peroxisome. So they are again very small and spherical structures which are present within the cell. The main thing which they contain is very powerful oxidative enzymes. So these oxidative enzymes are present within this peroxisome, and they are bounded by the single membrane. You can see over here they are bounded by the single membrane, and mainly these are found in the kidney cells and the liver cells. Specifically, peroxisomes are found in the kidney cells and liver cells. Clear hai? Please note it down. These are the extra and important information which I am giving you. Right? So what are the main function of the peroxisome? Definitely it carries out some oxidative reaction because oxidative enzyme is present over there, right? Such as detoxification or removal of the toxic substances from the cell. These are all performed by the peroxisome. Clear hai? Yes? Okay. So this is all about all the different types of cellular organisms which are present mostly in the plant cell and the animal cell. Now we will mainly study about what are the main differences between this plant cell and the animal cell. So the plants and animal cells are almost similar, and all the different types of cellular organisms are present both in the plant cells and animal cells. So similarity is huge, but then also I will say that there are a lot of difference which will come into account, and you can distinguish any cell whether it is a plant cell or an animal cell. So from here, can you distinguish any can you find out any differences between the plant cell and the animal cell? Anybody? Yes. Anybody, can you find out any differences between the plant cell and animal cell from here? Yes. Please write it down in the chat box then. So one extra membrane is there in the plant cell. Remember, that is known as the cell wall, which is not at all present in the animal cell. And just beneath the cell wall, the cell membrane is present, or which we also call as the plasma membrane, right? So this cell membrane is the outermost portion of the animal cell, but it is present just beneath the cell wall in case of the plant cell. So cell membrane is present in both the plant and animal cell, but cell wall is only present in the plant cell, right? Now, can you see the vacuole? A huge vacuole is present in the plant cell, right? But what about the animal cell? Very small vacuoles are present. Sometimes they are present, sometimes they are not present at all, right? So these vacuoles are very large in case of the plant cell, but in animal cells those were temporary, and very small vacuoles are present. Hannah, anything else can you see over here? The plastid, can you see the green colored structures? These are the different plastids, mainly the chloroplast. This chloroplast is present in case of the plant cell, but it is not at all present in case of the animal cell, right? Okay. Anything else? The centrosome. So I can find out the centrosome which is present in the animal cell, but this is not present in the plant cell. So these are basically the different types of things which are present or absent in one cell and absent in another cell, right? These are the basic differences between the plant cell and animal cell. Now let us find out what are the differences. So definitely the animal cells are generally small in size, but the plant cells are rigid and large in size, larger than the animal cell. Not that much large that you can see it through your naked eyes. Definitely you have to see them under the microscope only, but larger than the animal cells. Now cell wall is absent in case of animal cell, but it is present in case of plant cell, and the cell wall of most of the plant cell is made up of cellulose. Okay, cellulose is the main constituent or the chemical composition which is present within the cell wall of the plant cell. Now, plastids are present mainly in the plant cell, but it is absent in the animal cell. Only one exception is there, that is euglena. You already know that euglena is an unicellular animal, right? Which is having their plastid, but other than euglena, not a single animal cell have their own plastids, right? Now the vacuoles are many, and very small temporary vacuoles are present in the animal cells, as I have already said. But in case of the plant cell, vacuoles are large and permanent. Sometimes they take the 90% of the cell's volume, right? And finally they have the like centrosomes and centrioles in case of the animal cell, but this is not at all present in case of the plant cell. So if you get a question about what are the differences between plant cell and animal cell for 3 marks or 5 marks, what you have to write? You have to write all these points. These are the basic and the main differences between the plant cell and animal cell. Okay, and I would prefer that please also practice the diagram of the plant cell as well as the animal cells. right? Okay, so these are the two diagrams. Please practice the diagram of the plant cell and the animal cell. So this is also very important. Like in case of the plant cell, you have to mention the main labelings I am mentioning, that is cell wall, the large vacuole, and definitely the Golgi apparatus, the cell membrane, and the ribosome, amyloplast, this will be there, peroxisome will be there. Definitely these are the endoplasmic reticulum and nucleus, very important, cytoplasm and chloroplast. These are the main labelings of the plant cell. Please practice the diagram of the plant cell for your exam. And the animal cell, you can see over here that mitochondria, vacuole, the very small vacuoles are present, Golgi apparatus, the centrioles which are present over here, the plasma membrane, and no cell wall. So don't draw cell wall in case of animal cell, okay? And ribosome, microtubules, these are all present within the animal cell. Never forget to draw the nucleus. Okay, this is the main thing or the control center of all the cells. So these are the two diagrams which you have to practice for your examination, right? So this is all about the cell, and let us now find out some of the question answers. Let me see who can give me the answers first. So describe the double membrane structure in mitochondria. Can you tell me what is actually how the mitochondria is having the double membrane structure and what it looks like? Yes, what is the outer membrane structure looks like, whether it is smooth or rough or folded or something like that, and the inner membrane also looks like whether it is folded or anything like that. Okay. Then which organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell? Which is known as the powerhouse of the cell? Let me see who can give me the correct answer first. Yes? Okay, so let me tell you that mitochondria is having the outer membrane which is smooth and porous, and the inner membranes are folded, right? So these form the cristae. So the mitochondria, if you draw like this, they have the outer membrane which is very smooth, and the inner membranes are having the cristae or the foldings, right? So these foldings are known as the cristae. Okay. So this is all about the two membranes of the mitochondria. Fine. Now let us find out what is the which organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Do you remember? Yes, they make the energy, where the energy is formed, and definitely it is formed in the form of ATP, where it is the mitochondria only. Okay, very good. Very good, Vaishnavi. Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Very good. Now let us find out the next question. What are plastids? Yes. So what are plastids and what are the three types of plastid? So first you have to mention whether the plastids are present in both animal cell or plant cell. Or if it is only the one cell, definitely you have to say, right? So in which cell the plastids are found, and what is the main function of the plastid, and definitely the three types of plastid. And also you mention what it looks like, what is the structure of the plastid. I have already shown you the 3D view of the plastid, remember? Yes. Okay. So what are plastids? Plastids are the double membrane bound structure which contain their own DNA and ribosome. Remember, so the plastid and mitochondria, these are the only two. Very good, Vaishnavi. Plastids are only present in the plant cell. Very good. So they are the two. There are two cellular organisms which contain their own DNA and ribosome. Those are the mitochondria and the plastids. Fine. So, what are the three different types of plastids? Yes, they are chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast, depending upon what type of pigments are present within them. Right? Okay. Now, let us find out what are vacuoles. Yes, so tell me what are vacuoles and what is the function of the vacuole? Yes, whether the vacuoles are present in both plants and animal cells or not, and what is the structure of the vacuole and what is actually present within the vacuole. Yes, let me see who can give me the correct answer. Very good, Vaishnavi. Yes, that is the chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. These are the three different types of plastids, right? Okay. So now tell me, what are vacuoles? Yes. And keep hitting the like button, right? Everyone. Okay, so let us discuss what are the vacuoles. These are also the membrane bound structure which are present in the eukaryotic cell, which are present both in the plants and animal cell. But in case of the plant cell, definitely these are larger in size or bigger in size. Hi voice. And in case of the animal cell, these are temporary and very small in size. Clear, Hannah? Okay, so they mainly store the liquid and solid within them. Now, what is the function of the vacuole? They maintain the osmotic balance within the plant cell, as well as they provide the turgidity and rigidity to the plant cell. These are the main functions of the vacuoles. Fine. So now let me tell you a very important fact about the cell. Okay, so we have studied a lot about the cell, right? Yes, vacuoles are present in both. They store the food. Very good. Yes, Vaishnavi, you are so correct. Exactly. Now, the cells within the human body have different types of lifespan. All the cells are not having their specific type of lifespan, like they will die after 10 days for all the cells. It never happens. So, they can live anywhere from a few days to a long year also, or sometimes more than a year. Okay, so the certain cells of the digestive tract live for few days. There are some different cells which are WBC, like the immune system cells, like the lymphocytes. They can live up to 6 weeks, as well as the pancreatic cell, if I say, they can live for a long year also. Okay, so it depends upon the different types of lifespans. Okay, so it varies from one type of cell to another. Okay. So let us find out what we have already studied in this session. We have already studied what are the different cellular organisms which were present within the cell. So they are present mainly in the cytoplasm. So the different types of cellular cell organisms which we have studied today is the plastid, the peroxisome, the mitochondria, the vacuole, the centriole, and the ribosome. So in case of peroxisome, we have studied that they helps in the oxidative reaction. In case of plastid, we have studied that these are only present within the plant cell, and they are of three types, like chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. In case of chloroplast, they helps in the process of photosynthesis, in manufacturing of the food in the green plants. Then in the chromoplast, they help in giving the beautiful colors to the plants, like the fruits and flowers. And in case of the leucoplast, they helps in the storage of the food. Right. Now, in case of vacuoles, we have studied that they give the turgidity and the rigidity to the plant cell, because they are present larger in case of the plant cell, as well as they also maintain the osmotic balance. Now, in case of the centrioles, they are mainly present in the animal cells and help in the formation of the spindle fibers in case of cell division. Okay, then we have studied about the ribosome, whose main function is the synthesis of protein. And definitely we have also studied about the mitochondria, which is known as the powerhouse of the cell. This mitochondria helps in generating the energy. They form the energy in the form of ATP. I guess you all have got all the concepts regarding the different cellular organelles. If you have any question, please write it in the chat box, right? So thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with Swiflearn and doing the class properly. So thank you very much. And let me remind you again that please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. Okay, so stay with SwiftLearn and learn with SwiftLearn. Please like, comment, and share with your friends and family. We will again meet in the next session. So till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay